here, this is an altered wing that uses a dowel. And so I just kind of want you to see the difference in how it moves. So because you have a dowel, it does, the one place that I've really noticed the difference between the dowel and the quill as far as movement is in the over the head movement. The dowel, because it's wooden, really gets a firm lift with the air, so it actually does go up a little bit higher when I'm doing that move over my head. With this, with the quill, I have to work just a little bit harder to make sure that I get it airborne enough. If I don't, I mean, the silk just hits me in the face, which is not going to take an eye out or anything. So, but the big benefit with the quill over the dowel is that with a dowel, and you will notice this particularly with the larger ones, but with the dowel, it's very unforgiving in the sense that if you hit something, like let's say you miscalculate and you smack something and you're off by about a ½ inch, it is going to make a loud noise and it's going to ricochet off. Whereas with the quill, it may tap it, but it will just end up bending and it'll move through. So like, you probably can't even see what I'm hitting, but it's hitting something, but it's still continuing along its trajectory because of the fact that it'll just bend and continue moving. But anyway, but they move very similarly, and so you really can, they're both just beautiful. The other benefit, especially with the altered wing size of the quill over the dowel, is the fact that with the dowel, because it's removable, the wood keeps rubbing up right where the seam is, because again, you've got a seam basically right here, right down the middle, where we took the center part out to be able to make the wing smaller. And as you'll see, actually with the one in my hand, I'm holding it this way because mine actually ended up tearing along the seam with this one. Now with that, it was because it got stepped on, but that's a different story. And so it is a vulnerable spot right here, and with your wooden dowel constantly hitting up against it, it can cause problems over time. Whereas with the quill, because of the fact that it's encased in the ribbon, it really does actually reinforce where the alteration is and make it less likely to have issues there in the future. And so that's one of the things I really like about the altered wing size. The other thing is that with this size semicircle, you're probably not going to pull it off and wear it. You might pull it off and dance with it, which again, that's the benefit of the dowel, is the dowel can be removed and you can use the silk by itself. But you're probably not going to necessarily wear this size. So I definitely am a fan, obviously, in case you haven't noticed, I'm a big fan of the altered quill wing size. This is really my favorite for the altered wing. But let me show you, let me set these down, and let me show you some differences between the dowel full-sized wing. And again, the real big spot that I notice the difference is you'll see when I do the dowel over my head, it really does get a lot of lift, which is, oops, I just got it caught on itself because I'm trying not to hit this over here and make noise and ricochet off, but it really does get good lift. But again, with these, you're using a 4-foot wooden dowel. And so it will smack on stuff and bounce off, and you've seen it in some of my other videos that I've struggled, especially in small spaces. So, and I don't say that to deter you from getting this kind, because this kind is still awesome, because with these, you've also seen videos where I've pulled them out and I've used them either on voy or I've danced with them. I actually will wear this silk periodically, so you definitely have more options as far as how you're going to use the silk when you're using it with a dowel. Now I will say, again, because of the fact that the quill is encased in the ribbon, it really does reinforce it. And so if the only way you're really planning on using it is as a wing, I'd strongly encourage you to consider getting the quill wing, because of the fact that I think over time, you will have a little bit less wear. Now you'll notice on my over the head move, I'm getting a little bit of silk in my face, so I'm really having to make sure that I get enough lift. So that's the only real big drawback that I've seen so far with the quill wing over the dowel wing, is just in that one movement. But as far as getting to move it around, I have a lot more ease of doing it, because again, I've just hit the carpet 3 times, but it's still moving. And so with this one, if I hit the carpet, you're gonna hear it, there it goes, and it bounces back off, so it doesn't keep moving. And so that's the big benefit with this size, because of the length of the rod in it. So whether you choose a dowel or whether you have a quill with the flexible rod, either way, it's a big diameter that you're working with, especially if you're using two. And so having the flexibility of that bounce that comes in the quill, it definitely adds some grace to the movements that you're making. So again, it all comes down to how you're planning on using it. I still obviously have both. I love both. I just want you to be equipped with information so that you know what the benefits and drawbacks are. Let me just show you real quick. I've uploaded a video of me using a pair of these, but I do just want to say a couple of things while I'm holding the pair so that you can kind of think about it. One of the other things that I noticed is because of the flexibility of the dowel, there were movements that I was able to do where I would even bring the quill down through here. And as you can see, it hits my arm, but it actually will travel right through. And so in the video that I posted where I'm using it, you may not even realize that there's moments where it's actually hitting me and going through. And that's one of the big benefits of getting to use the quills because of the flexibility of them, because when they hit things, they just keep moving. And so, again, you want to be gentle with your quills because they are breakable. You know, and if it does break, you can get them repaired for a small fee in the shipping. But don't, you know, try and bend them or snap them or something like that. Treat them with care like you would any other item. But you can also obviously use two full-size ones in one hand. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've forgotten to tell you, but I think that's the bulk of what I wanted to share. So hopefully that gives you lots of good information so that you'll know which quill wing is right for you. And let us know if you have any questions. Happy worshiping. Bye-bye.